So in case you were wondering, we do have Courtney Hope, James McCaffrey, and Matthew Porretta here today. So you guys, why don't you hop on up here and we can get things started.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming.
All right, so guys, why don't we start off with you all telling us a bit about yourselves and then your characters that you're playing here in Control.
Sounds good.
Okay. I'm Courtney Hope. I play Jesse Faden, and I worked with Sam and Remedy on Quantum Break as Beth Wilder.
Hi, I'm Matthew Porretta, and I started working with Remedy by playing Alan Wake. And yeah, Wake! Woo! Alan Wake! And now I will be playing Dr.Darling, who's the head of research for the Federal Bureau of Control. He is head of the unexplained and kind of the forefront of the weird and the strange, which I guess kind of makes him a little weird and strange as well.
That's for sure. Is this thing on?
Yes, it's on.
I'm Jim McCaffrey. I was introduced to Sam through doing the voice of Max Payne. And you just don't listen, do you, asshole? And we had lunch last year when Sam was in town and said he was trying to put together an all-star cast for his newest game, and we're happy to be here and happy that the game is going and that we can be part of it. I play Trench. Don't you forget it.
Yeah.
So Sam, and Jim mentioned this actually, you guys came up with the idea for Control at a lunch meeting?
Well, we had some ideas there already, but yeah, I was a bit over a year ago at the Tribeca Film Festival here in New York, talking about storytelling in games, and well, while in town, we set up a lunch meeting with Jim and Matt both. Old friends, and yeah, we were working on Control as a concept already back then, and you know, I told both of them that would love to work with them, and we have something in the making, and very much was thinking about Trench already, and yeah, Jim was saying that he would love to do that. I was saying to Matt as well that you know, we need to figure out something.
It was all very secretive, and so both James and I are looking at each other like, all right, man, well, whatever you got. It's like we're in, so yeah.
And I have to kind of, you know, bit by bit, the idea of Remedy All-Stars cast for this one was forming, and I can actually reveal that I didn't really have a role for Matt figured out at that point, but I really wanted, and obviously so you know, knowing Matt and we in some ways customized the role of Dr. Darling for you in the sense that let's make this happen. We want to make this happen, and the great thing about both Jim and Matt, obviously, you know, as technology is evolving with Courtney, with Quantum Break, we were already working with concept of digital doubles, where actor can do the full performance and you know, be the model of the character and do the motion capture and performance capture. But back when we were working on Max Payne games and Alan Wake, that wasn't the way it was done. That came about as technology evolved through the years. So this was a really nice opportunity to bring these guys, you know, as the full package, as actors, to perform the full role.
Yeah, getting the band back together.
Yes.
Which brings me to my next point. All of you guys have been in Remedy games before. So I guess the question is, why bring them all back?
Yeah, that's a big mystery. Like, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, working with somebody who does a brilliant job, they are all extremely talented actors, and working together with them, they understood what we were going with all the various different games through the years, and we were really happy with them. And it takes time to build a working relationship, and it's not something you take for granted, and there is effort put into it. So from that perspective, when you find somebody that you can trust and who does an awesome job, of course you want to look for opportunities to work with them again. Obviously it comes down to the role as well. There needs to be a match there, but starting to work on Control, coming up with our hero for this, Jesse, it was obvious from the beginning, after having worked on Quantum Break with Courtney as Beth, we were really happy with her. The whole performance, the role of Beth worked so well. And from the initial concepting, there were some similarities with Beth and Jesse. Like, both are women who have had this very strange, life-altering encounter when they were young that has put them on a certain path. Granted, with Jesse, much more much weirder and powerful encounter. But I just knew immediately that Courtney would do a brilliant job, and we kind of, when working on Quantum Break, we hoped to do more with Beth, and then production realities happened. So it always felt that we could do more, and now we are doing more. Thank you. Yeah.
And I'm just going to assume you have similar reasons for bringing back Jim and Matt as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, Alan Wake, Max Payne, obviously, need I say more?
So I suppose for the actors, you guys are doing the motion cap, and the characters are actually based on your faces. So does that change the way you approach performance?
When I did Alan Wake, I didn't do the mocap for it. So there was an actor named Ilkka Ville who did the motion capture for it, who is a very famous Finnish actor. And
Ilkka Ville.
Did I say it right?
Sure.
Ilkka Ville. Ilkka Ville. Okay, so, and his performance was excellent. And so the problem was you don't want to flatten out his performance when you're voicing it, right? So I'm watching, what he did and trying to match what he did. And that was with the downloadable content. But also you don't get a whole script, so, which is difficult. So it's a lot of talking and a lot of just exchanging ideas and being told what's going on, and because it is very kind of secretive. So I guess that's the challenge with this, is that you're like a detective.
Yeah, I was also going to say, in TV and film, you have, the majority of the time, another actor there. And that was one thing with especially, facial capture. Sometimes we don't have the ability to have somebody else there. And so you're kind of, either they've already done their portion of it, and so you're listening back and reacting to that, or you're the first one tackling that scene in that scenario. So you are creating it, in your mind and on your own, and what you believe their reaction will be, which I think is interesting sometimes, because, I know in Quantum Break, there were a couple times when I got to go out there with Sean and Jack and Beth got to, be in the room together and read it, over and over again, where I could bounce off what he was saying and vice versa. But I know, first couple times I went over there, I I did my portion of it, and then he came out just after that. And then when I came out a third time, they played his stuff back, and both of us were saying, like, it was like, oh, maybe I would have said it like this instead of like that, because after I heard, him saying that, so that I think was a challenge, to a degree, which now, but then we would do like 3 or 4 options, and then so they can all match together. But that was something different for me that I wasn't used to.
So since Jessie is the first female protagonist in a Remedy game, why? I guess why choose to focus the narrative around Jessie instead of some more traditional character options you could have gone for?
Well, it was about the time. We wanted to do many new things with Control, and certainly, finding a fresh angle to the hero, making it modern and relevant. We felt that this was the only way to go, and in some ways also Control is all about contrast. We have many contrasting things going on in there, starting from things like the architecture, that the whole oldest house. The architecture there is this brutalist architecture of concrete and steel and glass, and that symbolizes the order that the Bureau is trying to achieve, controlling the surroundings. But then the supernatural forces coming in are very liquid and gas-like and organic, like chemical burn, how the hiss manifests itself. So that's one contrast. But then at the same time, we wanted contrast in the story and between the characters as well. And the Bureau, there is the old way, in some ways, Trench as the old director, and Dr. Darling as well. They are kind of part of this old boys club, running the show for a long time, and now clearly it has gone wrong. It has gone horribly, horribly wrong, and so a new hero steps on the stage, and unfortunately for her, she has to deal with this mess. So there is a theme of sins of the fathers, in a way, inheriting this responsibility and just offering a fresh take and a different approach of she becomes the director of this place, and she has to then figure out, a new way of controlling the situation. So, yeah. Old men.
Yeah, old men make a mess and a woman has to come in to clean it up, right? That's how it always goes.
That is the story of Control, yes.
On a lighter note, do any of you guys play the Remedy games you've been involved in, or is that like a cringe moment?
I don't. I have not.
My kids do.
But I will.
Yeah. My kids do, but they turned down the sound. It's a little insulting, but I
did. I played a bit of Quantum Break, and then my boyfriend ended up playing, the rest of it. Just because, to be honest with you, it was kind of fun. I was experiencing it, but then it was also kind of fun to have somebody play it that wasn't there, that, because I was going like, oh my God, I remember doing that. I remember when that happened. I remember, and so for me, but then by the end of it, to be honest with you, I just immersed myself in the story of it and forgot, like, oh my gosh, that's me, So, yeah, I played a bit of it, yeah.
So you plan to play Control?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make all of them play it when they come to Finland for shoots.
Jim is looking at me like he's very unhappy with me for saying this. I'm sorry.
No, I'll be happy to play it.
Yeah.
Somebody can teach me it.
Yeah.
We will.